Welcome to the Kitsap Matters podcast. In each episode, we discuss the people, places, and things that make Kitsap County unique, covering local entertainment, restaurants, business, government, and anything else we find interesting, troubling, or just plain amusing. A brief disclosure, this is a community-focused podcast, not a financial podcast, but sometimes financial topics do arise. And since the host is a licensed financial professional, we have to include the following disclosure in every episode. The strategies and concepts discussed are for educational purposes only and do not represent specific investment, tax, or estate planning advice. Investing carries an inherent element of risk, and it's in everyone's best interest to consult a tax, legal, or investment professional. Kevin Campbell is an investment representative of, and advisory services are offered through USA Financial Securities Corporation, a registered investment advisor located at 6020 East Fulton Street, Ada, Michigan, 49301. Peaks Financial is not affiliated with USA Financial Securities Corporation. Hi, welcome to the Kitsap Matters podcast. I'm Kevin Campbell, and I'm excited to introduce Doc Blackwell. Doc wears many hats and is driven by a strong passion for making a difference. As a philanthropist, entrepreneur, father, and advocate, he embraces various roles to create positive change in his community. Through his nonprofit organization, Luv the Kids, Doc is dedicated to improving access and providing essential resources for all. He organizes clothing, shoe, and food drives, as well as implements programs like the More Than the Music program, the sports program, and the Doc Luv the Kids Day initiative. These initiatives aim to foster resilience, offer support, and create a better future for generations to come. Doc, thanks for joining me today.
I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. So, as we mentioned at the start of every show, if you're familiar with Peaks Financial, you've probably heard of what we call our SAIL formula. The SAIL formula is the system that we use to manage the financial planning process for our clients. It's all about the key components of our planning philosophy. In the name SAIL formula, the first four letters of the word formula, F-O-R-M, represent family, occupation, recreation, and money. Those are the things that matter most to people, and it's some of the only things that we can control. So what's fun about our planning approach is that it also provides a great outline for interviews like this. So today, we're going to jump into Doc's story and find out what matters to him. So let's jump right into it. Doc, thanks a lot for being here. I really appreciate it. Absolutely.
Thanks for having me.
And I know we were trying to record this a couple months ago, and life got busy, and we weren't able to connect. So I'm glad you're here now. As we were just talking right before the show, we got introduced by Dave Lambert at the Slippery Pig.
The Dave's one of my favorite people in the world. Yes.
Yeah. Dave's great. And as I mentioned, I just saw him last night. He's a great guy. He's been on the show. He was just on the show. I think his episode just actually aired a couple of weeks ago. I think that he was on the podcast as well. So, as we just talked about in the intro, we're going to kind of follow. I want to hear a lot about what you're doing and what's driving all that. But first, we're going to do a little of the backstory.
Okay.
We're going to follow what we just talked about in the intro here: family, occupation, recreation, money. So tell me, give us the Reader's Digest version of the Doc origin story.
Family means a lot to me. My mom, she grew up with 6 sisters and 7 brothers from Akron, Ohio, and when I turned 12, we moved out here. It was just me and my 2 brothers and my mom. So a lot of that family was left in Ohio. So it made us even tighter, So Kitsap County is my home now, and we built a lot here. From my mother to my brothers, we built a lot here as far as more family, and so we're just trying to. I knew that we must make a change in this community when we moved here. I mean, Akron, Ohio, where we're from. The year I left was in 7th grade, halfway through the school year, but I left in 7th grade, and I went to a school that was all blacks, from the janitors to the principals to the bus drivers, everybody. And then halfway through the year, I moved to Silverdale. We went to Central Kitsap, and it was 7 black people in the whole school.
Right.
So it was a transition for a young 7th grade. It was a transition, which I think it prepared me for things that I do now. You know what I'm saying? I think that prepared me for things that I do in my life now. So just. I love our community, and I just want it to be tighter, no matter what color, no matter what race, no matter how much money, no matter where you at. I just think we need to be tighter and look out for each other more. So that's Doc Luv the Kids in the ball. I want our community, everyone, to look out for each other, because there's no community without unity, and that's how I feel. And that's why I'm so happy that Dave my friend, he wears a kilt. That's him introducing, putting me in this position is like, okay, he understands what I'm trying to do, and I understand him too. So that's what pushes me the most is separation and different things where you go in different rooms and you get shunned or get looked at different. But now I want to, I have kids. I have 4 kids of my own, a 27-year-old, 24-year-old, 21-year-old, and a 14-year-old. And then the 14-year-old, she's the roughest one right now, and, but those children, my kids being in these situations, they're mixed. Their mother's Hawaiian, so they have, it's a lot in Kitsap that's like that. A lot of kids of a lot of different cultures, and it's like we have to figure out a way to make sure everyone is on the same page and just treat everyone well and treat everyone the right way. So I'm just here to help with that, I guess you could say.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, how did I know you've got several different initiatives that you're involved in? Kind of tell me about that. How did you end up starting some nonprofits? How did you start down this path?
See, I think it was just when we were young. When I lived in Ohio, my grandmother she had 14 kids, and she worked at the Salvation Army, and she would just come home sometimes with bags of clothes for families that live down the street that she knows his family. And I didn't understand it when I was young, but when I got older, I understood it more. So I used to coach Pee Wee basketball, and if you know anything about basketball, you can't wear your shoes off the court. You can't wear them outside, and you got home shoes, and you got away shoes, and I'm like, we're just wasting these shoes. So I had the kids. I think the first year we collected like 15 pairs of shoes, and we donated them to kids who needed them more. I think last year we gave away 1,000 pairs of shoes. So,
that's awesome.
So just little stuff like that where the people with the less are sometimes has the most pride, and they won't ask for anything. So me growing up that way, I can see it sometimes, and so I think that's just the part that I am. I can see the ones who need it the most, and I go to them. So I think that's where it came. And
So one of the things it sounds like you're doing there is rather than expecting or trying to make them come to you or get them to find resources, you're trying to take it to them where they're at, meet them where they're at.
Right to their front door. And like my Luv the Kids Day, which my mayor in Birmingham, he made it an official day. It started because I had a friend, he passed away a few years back, but he was like, man, you got to make something with your name on it because you're doing great things. And we started off, I think we got about 40 backpacks the first year. Now I think we had 1,500 last year, 1,500 backpacks. So like everything, and we started off in our parking lot where our studio's at. Last year we had Lions Field just full. It was crazy. Yeah. So I think we had 10 giant bouncy houses, 1,500 backpacks, and it rained, and still was probably about 1,000 people there.
Wow.
So we're just trying to do. We want our community. I had an uncle when I was young. He passed away last year, Uncle Benny, and anything we needed, we call him. I want to be that uncle to our community. I want anything they need, you can call me. I'm gonna make it happen if I can. So that's just me. And I don't know, a lot of people, they like, why do you do this? Why do you do this? This little girls who I know, little boys who I know who see me now, 20 years old. I've known them since they was 15. Now they see me and they like, I understand. So just things like that just make me go harder, go stronger, and not get tired.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's the kids, it's the community, it's the people here that make me want to make it better.
And so tell me, so you have some different programs. Tell me a little bit
Yes.
about the different programs that you've got going.
The More the Music program, we teach all youth. Everything's free we do. There's nothing we charge for. Everything's free. Like I was telling your son, he can help with the More the Music program. We teach kids recording studio. We teach them videography, graphics, photography. So I was telling you, I was trying to ask your son, I'm trying to get him to help with teaching these kids. So there you go, I'm throwing it out there again, young man. But so that's one of them, More Than Music. We do we also when I was my kids, my 21-year-old, my 24-year-old play football together. It was like $150 to play Pee Wee each. That's a lot of money for, you know, if you got 3 kids, it's $150. So we also do scholarships for kids. You know, we don't have a lot of money, but we do scholarship for like 10 kids a year to play sports, and that's real deep in my heart too, because I know it's some, you know, growing up playing Pee Wee football, that discipline and being with other kids like you, that keeps you out of trouble.
Yeah.
And so that's real deep to my dear to my heart as well. And we have so many programs that we're right now we're in the high school. We're doing it's a beloved community. We're the kids who are on the verge. You know, they have a lot of different things going on at home. Their attendance isn't that well. Maybe they're getting kicked out of school a lot. So we're grabbing them and hugging them and showing them that there's more than life than just being in the streets. And it's working very well in the high schools right now. So we're just trying to touch, get that extra. You know, like you can hug them. I mean, you can hug them and you can love them all you want at school, but then they got to go home and deal with real life.
Yeah. So
we also do a fatherhood shop. So we're grabbing these fathers and we're bringing them to come talk, because there's other men, you know, all ages. There's men who've been through things that you think I'm never gonna get through this, but there's men who've been through it and they got through it. So we all need to sit there and talk to each other, because, you know, we can help the kids at school, but then when they go home and deal with real life again, then what? So we're trying to, like I was telling you earlier, we're going to the neighborhoods, we're going to the house, we're going to the families, because you can't just help the kids at school. It's a community thing, and so that's what we base it on. Like in Kitsap County.
Well, and when you have many adults who are now having children,
Right.
didn't necessarily grow up in the best environments themselves. Right. And so in many cases, it's not that they don't want to do things the right way; they don't know how.
I don't know how, yeah.
Because they didn't.
Even me,
they didn't learn.
I grew up without a father. So when I first had my kid, and my dad had 8 kids, 4 different women. So my only focus on being a dad was, I'm not gonna have that many kids by that many women. So I have 4 kids by the same one, but I still didn't do all the father things I'm supposed to do. So I'm still learning. Like even with my oldest has 2 sons, so I have 2 grandkids. So I'm probably teaching them better than I taught my own kids, because I learned, you know. So
and they don't give you they don't come with a manual.
There's no guide.
There's no guide.
Yeah, you got 4 children. They all act different. You're like, oh, what did I do wrong? But you treat them all the same. But they just different. So it's like it's almost.
I vividly remember taking my oldest home from the hospital, and my wife and I, we got home and we're like, okay, now what?
What's
right?
next?
We have no idea how to. We don't know. We don't know what to do with it.
Right.
You know, how do we do this, right? And there's no guide. There's no manual.
Yeah.
There's and back then there wasn't a whole bunch of YouTube videos on it, right? These days you can learn anything on YouTube, right? You want to be a good parent? Go to YouTube.
Go to YouTube.
Right?
They have a kid there teaching you how to be a good parent. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's one of the main things.
Where's your focus, like geographically? Are you primarily in Bremerton? You the whole Kitsap County? What's your reach?
Like, you know, funds make things go further.
Yeah.
You know, last year was the first year we did this thing called Feed the Streets, where we go out the week before Thanksgiving, or Turkey Day. They don't like to call it Thanksgiving no more. It's this political. They gotta be right about
Turkey
everything.
Day. Yeah.
Call it. But we go out the week before Thanksgiving and we feed. Last year we did Paulsbo, Bremerton, and Port Orchard. We usually do Bremerton because that's where I'm based out of, and that's where the funds. But now it's starting to get bigger, and more people are starting to support. Now we're doing more. We're spreading our wings a little bit. And, this is my family too, Paulsbo, Port Orchard. You know, everywhere Kitsap County we try to touch. But funds had us not stuck, but just taking care
constrained.
Yeah. So now this year. I mean, I just met a nice man out here, so I think we're gonna do a lot more in Paulsbo as well. Yeah.
Awesome. That's great. So you mentioned a couple programs. You're doing shoes. You're giving out shoes. You're giving away backpacks. You're feeding people.
Yes.
Tell me more about the food program. What's that called? And then also, while we're doing this, also what do you need? How can people who are listening to this, how can they help? How can they get involved?
Okay.
Where do they find information? And because obviously you're doing a lot of good in the community. And as we just on the other show we just recorded with Jeff Osmick, the Parks and Rec director at Paulsbo, we were talking about like volunteering, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fact that we've had a ton of volunteers in Paulsbo this year out helping with the Parks Department and stuff like that. How can people get involved if they want to get involved in this and learn more about your programs?
Volunteering is the biggest thing to me, is because when we started off doing the shoe event, and I think last year we had 60 volunteers, and that's a lot of people who just come out just to help. So the more volunteers, I mean, that's, to me, volunteers are more important even than money. You know, because those people, they get to see the look on people's faces. They get to experience something that we see every day in our work. and that changes in somebody's life, because that's what it helped me change my life doing that. I was on the wrong side for a long time in my life, you know what I mean, and seeing different emotions from people I know whose children, and just doing this nonprofit work, this service work, this hard work, it just changed my life. It made me go from being on one side to the other side, and just doing that, even your kids see it. You know, I remember when I was young, my son was like 15. He's like, I like this respect that you get more than the other respect, and so that meant a lot to me. And then it didn't get a lot of recognition, but you know, volunteer work is the most fun. Definitely, cash is king everywhere you go, but volunteers is the most. If you ask me, is the biggest thing. Lovthekids.org is where you can go volunteer. You can donate, you can sponsor, you can buy some of the crime scene seasoning. Shout out to Spiva. You can get some of these hoodies, the hats. I mean, we have, and everything. 100% of it goes back to the community. So we don't take anything from it. 100% goes right back into the community.
And in your URL for your website, it's not LOVE, right?
LUV.
LUV. Yes. So it's Doc Luv the Kids.
Yeah, no, yes. DOCLUVTHE KIDS. That's right.
Right. Yeah, so Love is LUV,
yes,
not
yes.
LOVE.
Right.
But go check that out.
Yes.
So they could go there to learn more, to volunteer,
Everything.
make donations.
Yeah, you can see everything we're doing. We do it. Last year, or this year actually, was the first. We called it One Block Mini Books, and we blocked off Callow and Bremerton, and I think we had like, I want to say 2,000 books, and we just had different fun events for kids, and we probably gave away 1,000 books that day.
That's awesome.
Because kids don't read anymore, and that reading, it makes your mind, it gives you the imagination, it helps you think and create and come up with different things. So we're trying to put books back in the hands of kids again.
Yeah.
And we'll be in Paulsboro with that this year at the Kitsap Regional Library too. We'll be in Paulsboro. We're going to all the regional libraries and giving out thousands of books this year.
That's awesome.
I mean, people always say, Doc, don't say force. But if you go on social media, they're forcing our kids to see this. They're forcing this. So I'm going to force books back into our kids' hands. That's just what I want to do.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. So tell me more about your Thanksgiving or Turkey Day program as you're talking about.
Yes.
Where's that? How does that get done?
We take it right to the streets, and we also have I think last year we did 50 or 40. We also have people, in Bremerton it's called KCR, Kitsap Community Resources. Sometimes they have families that maybe the grandmothers took the kids because something happened with the parents, or they have families that we cook complete Thanksgiving dinners for them, ham, turkey, everything you eat at your house. We make sure they have it hot and warm, and we deliver it the day before. But we'll take, and we do that for our houseless community too. We make real Thanksgiving dinners for them. We take them right where they're at.
So you literally have, so it's being cooked in one location, and you've got people that are taking it out and distributing it and taking it right to people.
Right to people.
So when you say taking it to the street, you don't mean you're like setting up a food truck in the street or something like that. You're actually literally delivering.
We're going into the camps where they are. We're doing. The first time we did it, my friend Brandy, she'd been working with Luv the Kids for a long time, and the first time we did it, we were going into camps where it's like you can hear babies crying, and adults shouldn't even be living in these camps. You hear babies crying and kids running around. It's like, man, this is crazy. And it made us,
And that's crazy to think, frankly, that's crazy to think of in our community here, that occurs, because, like, if you're just driving around, you don't see it.
Paulsboro has started getting bad. As far as the young people, like, you can see teenagers out there in the streets, and it's heartbreaking, because it's like, man, you must have did something so bad that your parents won't even let you in the house, or you don't want to see your parents. So we're going out there,
or maybe your parents are that bad that this is the safest place for you.
Yeah, and that just blows me away sometimes. But we still get them the resources. We even give out hygiene packs, where it's deodorant, toothbrush, just stuff you need, warmers, hand warmers. Spiva, again, he introduced me to this. I can't remember her name right now. It's horrible, but she makes soups like he does. She makes soups. I don't know if you've been to a store, but she makes these soups, and we're gonna make them and give them out, because you can just pour warm water in and make them. So
that's awesome.
We just try to do the most that we can. We know we can't save everyone, but we're gonna make sure you're okay and it's a little comfortable.
How many meals will you put up this year?
Last year we did 600, and that was between 3 cities though. Paulsboro, Bremerton, and Port Orchard. This year, I always put my numbers so high. I just want, I don't want nobody, I want everybody to have something.
Yeah.
So if it's 500 people in each city, I want to do 500. If it's 1,000 in each city, I want to do 1,000. And
how do you find out who's in need, and how do you figure out who you're getting it to?
There's so many different organizations that have maps to get to these places, but they don't put it on social media because they don't want people to go do harm.
Sure.
So I've been doing it for so long that I have connections and people, they like, go to the doctor over here. There's a family over here. There's a family over here. And we get to them. If we have the resources to do it, we there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's just what it is with Luv the Kids. That's why I wear this shirt. Anytime you see me, you'll see me with this hat or this shirt on because I really believe in this. And so I'm so happy to come out here because we need to flood love. You know what I'm saying? We need to flood love, and then we need to flood community and flood unity and just give them that heart. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard for people to accept it. So I have to force it on them sometimes. I have to force the love on them sometimes, and I don't mind doing that. Yeah.
So, and now you've got all of your volunteer work. You do all that. You're also an entrepreneur.
Yes.
So, and I know you mentioned a studio.
Yes.
So, tell me about your entrepreneurial endeavors. What all do you do there?
The recording studio does everything. I mean, you can do an audio book there. You can, if you have a band, you can record your band. If you sing, you can sing in there. We do more than music. We bring kids in. I think December we're bringing in the Girl Scouts to come in to record a Girl Scout song or whatever they want to do. So we just, first it was just but I started using it for the nonprofit too. I started using it for it because there's a lot of kids who want to do music, but okay, you're getting all these bad grades. Well, if you get your grades up, I got you. I'll record you. So it's helping with that too.
Right. So that's a little carrot and stick for them.
So that's I use that. So and we have a couple artists they're not the highest known, but they're nationally known. So I'll bring them to the schools sometimes and just to get the kids, like you can do this. It's like we have another program where I want to bring. We got young kids who are like, man, I want to be a firefighter. Well, I'm gonna bring a firefighter and come talk to you and tell you how he feels about this. So you kind of gotta show them that they can do it too. You know what I mean? Like it's a hard thing, but I think I'm built for it. So.
And what's the name of your studio, and how can people find out about that?
Boomhouse Studios, Bremerton, Washington. It's a well-known studio out here. If you don't know about it, it's on Riddell Road, 1748 Northeast Riddell Road in Bremerton. We do everything. We've been doing. My guy before me and him joined, I think 8 years ago. He was doing it out of his house and well-known in the city. Jinx, that's my brother Jinx. Chris Dean, go Cowboys, even though we sucked this year, but go Cowboys. we both Cowboys fans. You come to our studio, it's Cowboy stuff.
Oh, okay, right on. So I'm actually from Fort Worth.
Oh, I think he might be from there too, somewhere over there. Yeah.
And it's I kind of laugh that it's like if I can catch a Cowboys game, I do. But my brother is the big Cowboys fan.
He's sick right now, ain't he?
Oh, he is. And every now and again, like I'll see the Cowboys losing, and I'll be like, I can hear his screams from here. Right? He's down in Fort Worth.
I'm gonna tell you something.
I'll be like, I can actually hear him screaming from Washington.
I stopped when they gave Dak that money this year. I said, you know what, Jerry, this is it, Jerry. I'm done. I'm done. After he pays Dak, I was like, you know what, put Cooper Rush in there. Let's run this football. Yeah. I'm a real Cowboys fan, and it hurt my feelings when he gave Dak all that money.
Yeah.
That's neither here nor there. But
right? Yeah.
He ruined my football this year. Dak has. Now I'm back to. I like Russell though. I like Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
I think he's a solid quarterback.
So back to your studio.
Yeah. Sorry, football. The Cowboys do that to me sometimes. But yeah, it's 40 an hour.
Brief moment of silence for the Cowboys.
40 an hour. We do like rock bands. I guess some singers. We have some. I shouldn't say this probably, but I'll say out of 50 to 100 singers we get in there, there's probably 3 or 4 ones that's like, okay, that's a singer right there. Everybody else is like doing it for fun, probably. It's very interesting though, man, sitting in there sometimes and listening to these guys and listening to the artists, but bringing the kids in there, the young adults in there, the teenagers in there for the More Than Music program, you can see their eyes open up and you can see what they want to do. You can see, okay, maybe I don't want to rap, maybe I don't want to do this, maybe I want to get behind this computer, maybe I want to get behind this camera. So we're just trying to give them opportunity to.
So you're doing all that in your studio,
yes.
that very cool.
We don't have our building just yet. It's coming soon. It's coming soon, I hope. But we don't have our building that we want to run all of the Luv the Kids programs out of. Right now, we just have the studio. So I just push them in there too. I think we get up 10 kids in there at a time. But we just use what we have right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's keeping you busy.
See, I don't do none of the button pushing in there, or none of the music, or so I could just put it, like your son over here, like I'll just put him in front of him and I'll say, hey, go ahead, teach him, and I'll stand back. But that's not my thing. I just want to make sure.
Just connecting resources.
That's what it is right there.
That's been a theme of the day. Is connecting resources.
That's a facilitator. That's the best to me. If I know somebody that fixes cars, you need your car fixed, we're gonna make that happen. You know what I'm saying? So like even Dave calling you like, hey, get my guy Doc on the show. I love Dave so much that he's trying to get his the new shop open in Birmingham.
Yeah.
And they're giving him these can I say this? They're giving him terrible problems in Birmingham. In Birmingham, Washington, we need Slippery Pig out there. So I don't know what's going on, Mayor Willer and whoever else is listening, but we need Dave in Birmingham ASAP. And
Dave's a huge community supporter.
Huge community supporter.
Right?
Super good family man. Solid individual. And so whatever y'all doing out there in Birmingham, holding them back, let's get off our what's and get them going out there.
Yeah, it sounds like, I was actually just talking to Dave about this last night. It sounds like, and this unfortunately is a problem that a lot of people are having with not just Bremerton, but a lot of the municipalities, is difficulty getting permits done and things like that. And I don't know the reasoning behind it. I don't know if they're just overwhelmed, understaffed, or I don't know what the deal is.
Wow. Me and Dave, like I said, when I say I got big love for Dave, it's true. We went and sat with the mayor and talked about it. I don't know if he told you, we went and sat with the mayor. I'm like, hey, I don't know what the problem is. Like he know what he's doing, because he's got one of the best businesses in Paulsville, if you ask me. The sandwiches are some of the best sandwiches.
It's
beer
good
is some of the best
it's
beer.
Good food, yeah.
But yeah, Dave is he's one of my favorite people. Just people like that though. Things like that in Bremerton. A man walking around, a big man, not just a big man walking around in the kilt, and nobody blinks an eye to say hi to him. You know what I'm saying? So just different things like that. That's why
it's kind of a funny thing around here that that's not just a normal day in Paulsboro.
Just leave him alone. Plus, plus him and his wife, they do strongman competitions, so you can't just say anything to him. You know
right?
what I'm saying? Yeah.
He's doing one, I think, this weekend.
Yeah, I need to check him out. They are some of my favorite people.
Yeah. I ran into him last night, and he said that he was doing a strongman competition this weekend. So yeah, good people.
And even him, like we have this fundraising event called one last fundraising event. It's one of my favorites. It's called Briskets and Brews, where we
two of my favorite things.
So what we do is me and my guy, he's from Texas, I'm from here. We both like Dallas, and we was talking mess to each other, and he's like, yeah, you guys don't barbecue in Washington. I'm like, what? We barbecue. So we made this fundraising competition. It's I think the 8th year this year. This year we went against the Bremerton Police Department. We whooped them, but so local beers, local brews. Dave brings in the kegs, local beers, and local cooks, and we have a battle. And we have the judge sometimes, our judges, police chiefs. We have our judges are like people who don't really get to hang out with the regular people in the society. So we try to mix it up and make, hey, this is community here. No matter what their title is, it's still community. So briskets take about 12 hours to cook. So we're drinking beers 12 hours, and first just kind of standoffish, and the next everybody's hugging.
Right. Yeah.
So it's almost like one of the greatest community events that I love just watching. I have a friend that he has a hard time being around police officers because of his history growing up. Him and one of the police officers put together a smoker together, and I'm just like, see, that's change right there. That's changing.
Mm-hmm. And it's progress.
It's progress. Sometimes take a beer to do that, but it's some brisket. So that's one of my favorite events we do, and we raise thousands of dollars for Luv the Kids with that event, eating and drinking and having fun, fellowshipping.
I got a funny story for you. So you were just talking about your friend from Texas,
yes,
who said we don't have barbecue up here. When we moved up here, my kids were, I think, my daughter she would have been going into her freshman year of high school. Mm-hmm. So whatever old that makes
16, her. I think, 16.
Yeah, 15, 16, mm-hmm. something like that. And she was super excited because she was on the high school sailing team, and they said that after this event they were going to have a barbecue.
Yeah.
Right? And she was super excited, thinking it was
Texas
barbecue. And she shows up and she's like, well, there's hamburgers and hot dogs, but where's the barbecue? And she was just crushed, right? Because she was like so looking forward to Texas barbecue, and she was like, you know, when you cook a hot dog or a hamburger on a grill, that does not make it barbecue.
That's not barbecue.
Right, it's not barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
So having a barbecue, I'm like, no, they cooked it on a barbecue grill, and she's like, oh, okay, that's what they mean.
But that's one thing about all of our events. Like even when we do the pop-ups inside the neighborhoods, we're not making hot dogs and hamburgers. We're making pulled pork. We're making real food. People come to our events sometimes just to eat, and that's what I like. I mean, I'm okay with that. Even though the older I get, the more I have to figure this out a little bit. I have to slow down on certain things. But people come to our events sometimes just for the food because I really like to eat. So if you can't cook, like we having a gumbo November 16th at the American Legion. We're raising money for the veterans, and we're having a gumbo cook-off. And I'm really serious. If you can't make gumbo, I don't think you should be in this competition because we're not gonna be nice about it. But we're trying to raise $1,000 for the veterans. Bring your A game because we're gonna talk. But this is the type of thing we like to do. And plus, it not only food brings people together. People who would never sit together, like we have like motorcycle clubs. We have everything. Like if you see some of the videos, you're like, why are they in this place together? But it's the food and it's the atmosphere. And next you know, we got friends, people who shouldn't be friends to the world, are friends, best friends, hugging in the picture. It's just like, this is what we do it for. That fellowship, that community, and it's working.
That's awesome. I love hearing everything you're doing here. It is so cool. I'm a huge fan of community.
Yes.
Here at Peaks Financial, we do a lot to help support the community. Right. We're involved in a lot of things, but you just gave me a whole new list of other things to start getting involved in as well.
Appreciate it.
So that's fantastic. So let's hit real quick. We're gonna run out of time here pretty quick, but let's hit real quick on any lessons or anything that you want to talk about in regards to money. That like impacts on you or lessons that you're trying to help some of the people that you're dealing with?
I'm like, I don't really do a lot of financial. I just try to save as much money as possible, but that's just me for rainy days because I've seen a lot of rainy days growing up with a single mom, and I'm not really like the financial literacy person. That's not my thing, but I push my kids to save more than they spend. That's one thing I push them to save more than they spend. But as far as I'm 47 years old. I'm just living and having fun right now.
Right.
I'm ready to take some trips. I'm ready to do some fun things. My youngest is 14. She got a few more years before she's off. Hopefully she's off to college, and I'm just trying to live the rest of this life.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So people can find you again at
DocLuvTheKids.org. Everything.
DocLuvTheKids.org, not .com. I think I said .com earlier.
.org. So
it's .org.
Yes.
And then your studio website for that?
I don't remember the website for it, but it's Boomhouse Studios. You can look
Boomhouse
it up.
Studios.
Just type it in. It'll come right up. Boomhouse Studios.
Okay, awesome. Doc, anything? The
cool place.
The cool place.
Cool
the
place.
last question. The last question
cool
that
place.
I forgot to ask on our last episode. But what is something cool? Kind of like we always call this like our best kept secret, right?
Okay.
Whether it's a hike, a view, a waterfall, a person, a restaurant, a food item. What's something cool in Kitsap County that people might not know about?
I know a lot of different things that me personally I can go on forever because I go everywhere. But we were just talking about one of my good friends, Dave. If you haven't been to Slippery Pig in Paulsboro, and it's soon to be open Bremerton location, then you're missing out. The food, the people, everything about them, they're inviting, inclusive. Everything about them is special. So Dave Lambert, the Slippery Pig, that's a special place.
Yep.
Special people. So that's a place where my birthday party, my 47th birthday party, I had it there. My family, he treated us like like family.
Yeah.
So
Dave's great. He and his wife Shauna.
Shauna's
They're fantastic
amazing.
people.
So that's a place that I would say right there. And
Yep.
go there and spend some money.
Yep, absolutely. Go support the Slippery Pig.
Yes, sir.
And they're also another shameless plug here. The Slippery Pig is also hosting the Poulsbo Blues and Jazz Festival.
Okay, PB&J.
PB&J.
Okay.
And the PB&J concert series as well.
Okay.
Actually, Mary and Joe. Do you know Mary and Joe? PB&J?
I don't think I met her.
You need to meet them.
Okay.
They were just here this week, also on the podcast.
Okay.
And we're also sponsors of PB&J. But their PB&J is doing, I think, a total of 11 concerts this year at the Slippery Pig.
That's huge.
So
I'll be there.
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
And they're bringing in some serious talent. They just had
Yeah.
John Primer. That man's a legend, right? Talking about a blues legend. They just had John Primer playing a Slippery Pig for 90 people.
That's crazy.
Right? Yeah. I think he's up for a Grammy this year, I think. I mean, and he's like, which is still amazing. He's like, I want to say he's like 85 years old. I mean, he's old.
I need to meet this guy because I need to learn some stuff. But 85 is a good age. I need to
85 years old, and he's going to be up for a Grammy this year, I think.
Man.
That's just
That's
amazing.
huge.
So, anyways, Doc, thank you very much for being here.
Appreciate
It's been
it.
absolutely a pleasure meeting you.
I definitely want to come back and do some work in Paul's Ball. So
Yeah.
anything you need from me, just call me.
And listeners, go check out his website,
Yes.
doclovethekids.org.
That's
Check
right.
it out, get involved, help make a difference.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks. We'll see you on the next episode of the Kitsap Matters podcast.
Thank you.
A brief disclosure, this is a community-focused podcast, not a financial podcast, but sometimes financial topics do arise. And since the host is a licensed financial professional, we have to include the following disclosure in every episode. The strategies and concepts discussed are for educational purposes only and do not represent specific investment, tax, or estate planning advice. Investing carries an inherent element of risk, and it's in everyone's best interest to consult a tax, legal, or investment professional. Kevin Campbell is an investment representative of, and advisory services are offered through USA Financial Securities Corporation, a registered investment advisor located at 6020 East Fulton Street, Ada, Michigan, 49301. Peaks Financial is not affiliated with USA Financial Securities Corporation.